Welcome to Meaningfulness, Engineering Purpose in a Complex World podcast series. I'm Djeff B., Principal Architect at Meaningfulness Media Group, where we build rigorous frameworks to uncover objective meaning through authentic connection, ethical systems thinking, and responsible stewardship in an age of AI and informational chaos. If you're seeking evidence-based insights on philosophy, psychology, and human flourishing, you're in the right place. Let's begin.
Okay, so let's just dive right in. We're surrounded by ways to connect, right? I mean, we're swimming in platforms and apps, and yet somehow we can end up feeling more disconnected than ever before. Today we're going to explore exactly that, how the very tools designed to bring us closer can, in a weird twist, also be the things that pull us apart.
I mean, really think about that for a second. You're on the couch, messaging a friend who lives 1,000 miles away, while the person you love is sitting right there next to you. This is the central conflict, that weird balancing act we're all trying to figure out. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack in this explainer.
You know, this whole digital world it's a total double-edged sword. On one side, it's given us these unbelievable tools to connect with people. But on the other side, it can create this illusion of intimacy that doesn't really have any depth. So let's explore both sides of that paradox.
First up, let's talk about the good stuff. Let's look at the absolutely incredible power social media has to bridge huge gaps and build relationships. I mean, in ways that would have sounded like pure science fiction just a couple of decades ago.
And boy, has the game changed. What used to mean waiting weeks for a letter to cross the ocean or racking up a massive phone bill for a long-distance call, well, now it all happens in a split second. We can see the faces of people we love on the other side of the planet totally for free and share a moment with them as it's actually happening. The speed of it all is just staggering.
And this leads to a really interesting concept called continuous partial attention. It sounds a little academic, but what it means is that we can be this constant low-key presence in each other's day-to-day lives, no matter how far apart we are. It's this kind of passive connection that our parents' generation they never had it. And it goes way beyond just your close friends and family. Social media has become an absolute powerhouse for building communities. Got a super specific niche hobby? You better believe there's a group for that. It allows people to find their tribe, to connect with others who get their passion, and that can create some incredibly deep and meaningful bonds.
And what about how we share our relationships? Well, posting your milestones online, it's kind of like creating a digital scrapbook. It's this shared public memory that can actually help validate and strengthen a relationship. It lets you and everyone in your network celebrate those big moments together.
So all of this sounds amazing, right? It really does. But this is where we make the turn. With all this nonstop connectivity, what are we accidentally giving up? What's the real cost here?
All right, let's look at the other edge of that sword. This is where we get into the illusion of connection and all the pressures that come with living in a perfectly curated online world.
You see a number like this on someone's profile and you think, wow, 1,000 friends. But what does that number really mean? Is all that quantity actually translating to quality?
And that's because a real, truly meaningful connection, it needs these things. It needs you to be vulnerable. It needs real, in-depth conversation and a genuine emotional investment from both sides. And let's be honest, those things can be pretty hard to find when you're just endlessly scrolling through a feed.
And this is just so crucial to understand. Hitting like is not the same as having empathy. Typing a quick comment isn't a deep conversation. These things can make us feel connected for a moment, but often they're just masking a real lack of substance underneath. Think about it. When we talk in person, we're using so much more than just words. We have tone of voice, facial expressions, body language, all of these cues that give our words meaning. Online, we've got text, we've got emojis. It is so incredibly easy for a simple message like, "I'm fine," to be completely taken the wrong way, and that can lead to all sorts of unnecessary conflict and stress.
And then, oh man, there's the pressure to perform. This little recipe probably looks pretty familiar, right? We are constantly bombarded with everyone else's highlight reels, and it's just human nature to compare. But these perfect, curated feeds set an impossible standard for our own lives, and that can plant these little seeds of dissatisfaction that just grow and grow.
Okay, so it's complicated. Given this whole messy picture, how do we actually move forward? How do we use these tools in a way that helps us without letting them use us? Let's get into the game plan.
The whole strategy really boils down to these three key ideas. First,
Focus on the depth of your connections, not the width. Quality over quantity. Second, try to resist that temptation to post a perfectly filtered life. Being real is what actually builds strong bonds. And third, be intentional. Think about it. Make conscious choices about how and when you engage online. The researcher Sherry Turkle just nailed this whole dilemma. This quote is such a powerful gut check. Are we turning to our phones for things that we should really be seeking from the people right in front of us? So, after looking at the good, the bad, and the complicated, where does all this leave us? Well, it leaves us with something really powerful: choice.
And this really just brings it all home. Social media holds out the promise of connection, of community, of sharing, but it also carries the danger of illusion, pressure, and misunderstanding. The thing is, it's not one or the other, it's both, all at the same time. And that is the ultimate takeaway here. The tool itself, it's neutral. It isn't inherently good, and it isn't inherently bad. Its power to either build up your relationships or tear them down, that all comes down to you. It comes down to how you choose to use it. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. The tool is in your hands. The choice is yours. How are you going to consciously and intentionally use it to build the connections that really, truly matter to you?
That's all for this episode. Thank you for joining me on this exploration. If these ideas resonate, continue your journey toward objective meaning and authentic connection at meaningfulness.com.au, where you'll find materials and resources to engineer purpose in your life. Until next time, let's build something meaningful.